Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we are looking at the 2003 release by Art Asylum from their Star Trek series of classic action figures. And this particular one we're looking at today is from the classic TV episode Mirror Mirror, which is where the Enterprise gets transported into, or not the Enterprise, some of the crew of the Enterprise get transported into a mirror universe caused by an ion storm, and the transporter's being operated during that storm, which transferred the landing party to or mirror universe, which was no longer run by the Starfleet. It was run by the Empire. And the USS Enterprise was no longer the USS Enterprise. It was now the ISS Enterprise, which was the Empire's flagship. And they ruled as tyrants rather than like the Federation as a peaceful emissary. They were more like the Klingons. They ruled with fear and tyranny. Okay, so this is the figure in front of us, and this particular figure we're looking at today is of Mirror Kirk, Captain Kirk, and it is as he appeared in that Mirror Mirror TV episode. Okay, so this is the figure in front of us, and you can see the card at the top, and you can see an image of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. And just behind the bubble, you can see the action figure of Kirk dressed in his mirror attire. And it says Star Trek, Mirror Kirk with Starfleet gear, original series action figure Wave 2. Okay, so that's the front of the card. Now, before we actually have a good look at the figure itself, let's turn the card round and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card round and this is what we got on the back. Now it says, throughout Starfleet history, one captain and crew have achieved legendary status. Throughout the galaxy, Captain James T. Kirk and his crew are responsible for saving Earth and the Federation a dozen times over. Their original 5-year mission proved the way for future captains and crews. Along the way, they averted interstellar war, traveled through time, and established first contact with dozens of alien species. Now it says, also available, original series action figures, collect them all. So you got Khan, Spock, Kirk, McCoy, and Uhura, which was Wave 1. And Wave 2, you had Mirror Kirk, Mirror Spock, Scotty, Sulu, and Chekhov. And at the bottom it says Star Trek Classic Phaser with lights and sound effects. Kirk Mini-Mates exclusive, the Trouble with Tribbles Mini-Mate. And you've got the Enterprise A. And it's got Art Asylum, designed by Digger, assistant director, administrator, sculpture, paint department, control art, package design, molded tech, special thanks, and so on. And it's got Asylum inmates, and it says USS Enterprise NCC 170-1A, Starship featuring lights and sound action from the movies. And at the bottom, you've got all the copyright and licensing information. Paramount logo, 0 to 3 years, Star Trek fan club logo, CE code, and you've got the barcode and the item number on the bottom. Okay, that is the back of the card, so let's turn it back round and have a good look at the figure itself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the figure itself, and there we can see, I don't want to put too much light on this and block out the view, but there you can see Captain James T. Kirk. It's not a bad likeness, actually, to William Shatner from his younger days as he appeared as James T. Kirk in Star Trek. Remember, we're going back to, this episode was 1968, I think this was, so 67, 68, something like that. So, yeah, back 57, 58 years ago, something like that. So, it was when Shatner was quite a young man. I think he was in his 30s at the time. Yeah, it's not a bad likeness of him, really. Not exactly as he looked, but it's not a bad likeness, so I can't moan too much about that. And obviously his attire is fantastic. He's dressed in his shirt that he wore in the Mirror Mirror episode, along with a sash around his waist and his black trousers and his black boots. You can just see them down the bottom there. And he comes with the accessories. So he's got his Starfleet issue communicator. He's got his Mirror Dagger and the Shreef. Now I don't know whether that can actually clip to him or not, or whether it just comes like that. But on some of the others, they clip to the belt. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Something you can find out when you open it up, or if you know, please message me and let me know. Articulation wise, very good. So you've got the head, you've got the shoulders, the tops of the shoulders, you've got the tops of the arms, the elbows and the wrists. You've got the waist, the tops of the legs, the knee joints. I don't think the feet move, but otherwise the articulation is very, very good. I mean, overall, Art Asylum has done some of the best Star Trek figures, not just for the articulation, but also for the sculpting. Remember, we're going back over 20 years ago when these were produced. So back in then, the technology was nowhere near what it is now. But even so, the sculpting was just very, very, very good for the time. And the actual detailing of the uniform, even down to the creases, is just absolutely phenomenal. I think these figures are probably the best Star Trek ones out there. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'm sure other people have got their opinions, but that's mine. So how well did these do? Well, I'm sad to say that in the UK, they didn't do as well as we would have thought they would have done. And that is simply because they weren't readily available in the UK. There was only a few specialist shops that brought them over. Even though the internet had now, was quite well established in the early 2000s, but it wasn't down to the fact that there was computers in every home. That didn't happen for another 5 years or so. But at that time, internet was available, mail order was available. Mail order would normally take you 10 to 20 days to get an item, not like it is now where it's next day or the day after. Back then it was a lot longer process, but it was certainly a different time. If these figures had been available now for the first time, I'm sure they would have just literally sell right off the shelf. They are such a good figure, and they're very sought after and very, very collectible. And I'm pretty certain they were done in limited quantities as well, because you don't see many of these come up for sale very often, especially in this mint unopened condition. They are very, very few and far between these days. However, we at Midas Touch have managed to find a few of these figures, and they're currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that you won't want to miss this, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. And believe me when I say we have got some amazing stuff coming soon. Our team's been working tirelessly behind the scenes to get the items ready for sale and ready to have videos shot. So stay tuned, keep watching, because the items coming through are just simply awesome. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed this very short video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.